I asked my Instagram followers if you wanted to hear a daily recap from me on the Karen Read trial, and there was an overwhelming yes. So I am going to be giving you a daily recap each day of the trial, which sounds like a lot of work for me, but I watch every minute of it, so I'm happy to do so. Today was day 5, and we started out before the jury was brought in, hearing about the Katie McLaughlin testimony again. Over the weekend, there were a ton of bombshells broken about that. People scouring their Facebooks to find pictures of Caitlin Albert and Katie McLaughlin together. She testified on Thursday and Friday that she was an acquaintance with her and didn't hang out with her hardly, didn't really know her, and we are finding that to be a lie. So the defense was asking the judge to strike her testimony and basically what would the word be? Get her with perjury, saying that she perjured herself by lying about this. And obviously they were very good friends. She was in a photo at a baby shower 7 or 8 months prior to John O'Keefe passing away, which that's not a good look for you, Katie girl. I also want to mention that from watching the entire Murdaugh trial, I am so impressed with South Carolina on how efficient the courtroom, like administrators, everybody worked. It's very obvious that here in Dedham, they don't have a system for anything. The way that they're processing the evidence in the courtroom has been so slow. It takes forever. The courtroom itself is so tiny. It looks so cramped and uncomfortable. I just really feel for the family that has to like sit that close to the defendant. It's just very awkward. I don't know why they're doing it like that. Okay, so the two witnesses that we heard from today were both Canton police officers, and they were on the scene. First one we heard from was Officer Gallagher. One thing you'll learn about me is I'm not very good with names, and I am definitely not good with ranks, so I apologize if he's like a sergeant, and I should have said that, but I don't know those kind of things, sorry. It was a lot of boring testimony because the prosecution was just asking him kind of like what you came upon at the scene and really just setting the scene for the jury, which we've heard already from the firefighters and the EMTs, so it was very tedious to hear it again. Then we kind of got into the evidence collection and how that was done because the Canton PD is who processes the evidence. I guess they don't actually handle murders. So once it was determined that John O'Keefe, it was a homicide, once they determined that, then they passed everything to the state police. So then we'll get into like talking to all the state police officers and everything. But for now, they came upon the original crime scene, and we learned that they with solo cups collected snow and blood and stored that in a Stop and Shop bag. If I was a jury and I saw pictures of that just like open where they were doing the search warrants for the car and everything, like executing a search warrant on a car, and there's just a Stop and Shop bag with solo cups of blood in the picture, I would be like, what in the world are you doing? That's obviously not the proper protocol. So bad policing on that part. I don't know. I don't even know how to explain that. Officer Good was the next officer that we heard. We did hear the 911 call today from Jen McCabe when she called 911. Really no sense of urgency in her 911 call, which was kind of crazy. We also learned that the house was never searched. If I was a member of the jury, I would be very concerned as to why the house was never searched. So that was really interesting, especially because they knew, or they are now claiming that they did not know that John O'Keefe was missing a shoe. So that would have been a reason to search the home if a shoe was in the backyard or inside or in the basement. And the cocktail glass that was broken, they could have gone into the home and seen if it was a glass from the house. How did they know that this was a glass from the bar or somewhere else, even though he was right outside the home? We also learned and heard that the homeowners, who was a Boston police officer, did not ever go outside when the chaos of the crime scene was happening. Like when the police were there and all the lights were going and everything, they never came outside. Also just very bizarre to me. So tomorrow's going to be a half day. I'm sure it will be a busy one. After the jury left today, we did hear from another police officer, Officer Yank. So the jury was gone and the judge was listening to and deciding if she will admit evidence about his relationship, that he's been friends with the Alberts for a really long time, like 20 plus years, and it's not important, but we'll find out about that tomorrow. So that's all.